Welcome back, everybody. I'm back with another prediction video for the NFL. The season's starting pretty soon, less than 10 days now, and today I'm going to go over the NFC EAST. So there's not much to go over on this division. I mean, it's pretty mediocre. Not a whole lot going on. It's a really forgettable division, and that's going to be the running narrative of this video. But anyway, let's break it down with the two notable teams. Starting off with the Cowboys. I do think the Cowboys are going to win the division. I guess you could say, well, tie it. They'll tie it with the Eagles. But let's go ahead and look at the Cowboys' schedule. Starting off Tampa. I think they can get that win. I honestly, truly do. I think they're going to lose against the Bengals. I think they're going to beat the Giants, beat the Redskins, and then they're going to start losing. They're going to start losing to the Rams, the Eagles. They're going to pick up a big loss against the Lions. Bounce back against the Bears. And then they're going to take up a couple losses to the Packers and the Vikings, get a win against the Giants, take a loss against the Colts, a win against the Texans, and they're going to finish it off with a win against the Jaguars, Eagles, Titans, and then finally end it with a very disappointing loss to the Redskins again, leaving them with a 9-8 record. I'm not sure how the tiebreaker is going to work out for this division because I do have the Eagles with a 9-8 record as well. I'll get to their schedule in a minute. I'm just picking the Cowboys because they have more stars on their team, and I do feel that if a team is going to be better than 9-8 in this division, the Cowboys have a better shot at it than the Eagles, even though the Eagles probably have the better quarterback in Hurts. Speaking of Hurts and the Eagles, let's go ahead and break it down and get into their division, or their schedule, I should say. Starting off with a win against Detroit, loss against the Vikings, loss against the Redskins. And I really shouldn't be having the Washington Redskins get this many wins, especially in the division. But I don't think they're going to be horrible. That's why they're going to get this win. But after that disappointing loss to the Redskins, they're going to get an easy win against the Jaguars. Then they're going to drop one against the Cardinals, get a win against the Cowboys, get a win against the Steelers. They're probably going to have a hiccup and lose focus and lose to the Texans. I don't know how, but I just have a feeling they are. It's kind of feel like a trap game to me. They'll get a win against the Redskins, a little bit of revenge from earlier in the season, and then they're going to have some trouble losing the next 4 out of 5 with a loss against the Colts, the Packers, win against the Titans, and then another loss against the Giants. And actually, they're going to get a win against the Bears because they're terrible, and then they're going to lose to the Cowboys, and they even up the season series. And then they're going to get 2 wins against the Saints and the Giants to wrap up the season. And that's going to leave them with a 9-8 record as well as the Cowboys, with each one of them getting a win within their series. So I don't know who's going to get the tiebreaker here, or who's going to actually be better. It's really hard to tell between these two teams for me. They're both decent, well above average teams. Both of them probably should make the playoffs. But I just don't know. I can't give you a prediction, so I'm going to go with the Cowboys just for the sake that I think they have a better team. But after these two teams, that's when the division really starts to fall off. Ironically, the two bottom-tier teams also have a tied record, too. And I'm going to go with the Washington Redskins, also known as the Generals now. What a horrible name. I will still be calling them the Redskins, or just Washington. And if you're mad about it, come at me, bro. Let's get into their season. They start off strong with a win against Jacksonville. Everyone thinks, they're going to be all right this year. They're going to get another win against Detroit. No, they're going to lose. And they're going to completely mess all over themselves and have a very disappointing loss. And then they're going to bounce back and get a win over the Eagles. And then this is where it starts to spiral. A loss to the Cowboys, Titans, Bears, Packers, and Colts. Now, if they can get a win over the Bears, maybe they can turn the tides, but I just don't think they are. But they'll turn it around against the Vikings. Yep, I know, they're going to come out and play well against a decent team and get a win. Then they're going to lose again to the Eagles, the Texans, get a win against the Falcons because they stink. Then they're going to lose to the Giants, get a win against the Giants, and then they're going to lose to the 49ers, Browns, and finally, they're going to take out the Cowboys with the last game of the year, even though they still won't make the playoffs, and they'll have a disappointing year with 6-11. Not horrible. I mean, not good by any means, but I still think they are better than the Giants, even though I have the Giants with the same record. I can see a path where Washington is the top in this division. I know it's a long shot, and it's definitely a long shot, but they do have some pretty decent pieces, and it could happen. I'm not banking on it. I wouldn't bet on it, but it could happen. You never know. Stranger things have happened, especially in this league and for this team. And that leads us into the last place and least of this division, the New York Football Giants. Man, this team's horrible. They've got no direction. They've got Saquon Barkley. If he's hurt, who knows if he'll ever return to his old self. But man, this team's just horrible and has been for a while. Let's get into their year. They're going to start out spectacular with losses against the Titans, the Panthers, the Cowboys, get a win against a horrible team in the Bears, go back to losing against the Packers, the Ravens, the Jaguars, get an upset win against the Jaguars. I should probably change that, but hey, pick's made. It's in. Then they're going to get a win against the Texans, win against the Lions, loss against the Cowboys, win against the Redskins, and Eagles are right after that. Followed up with a loss to the Redskins, a loss to the Vikings, Colts, and the Eagles to wrap up their season with a 6-11 season overall. And like I said, where I see a path for Washington to actually being good and having a very long shot to making the playoffs, I can see this team going off the rails and having a shot at being one of the worst teams in the league, falling down to the Jacksonville and New York Jets area. I think that's kind of a long shot, but that's more likely than the Redskins making the playoffs, honestly. I don't think that's an understatement or anything like that. I mean, that's pretty feasible in my mind. Like I said, this team's just got no direction. And to be honest with you, the rest of the division's not much better. I mean, this whole division's just kind of floating in no man's land and have been for a while. I mean, you had a couple of good years for the Cowboys. You had a couple okay years for the Eagles. You had the Super Bowl year. But that's 4 or 5 years ago, man. So it's time for some things to actually get some changing into this division and breathe some life in here. Because it's been pathetic, man. All right, well, that's pretty much all I have to say about the NFC East. I mean, they're just kind of forgettable. They're not as bad and comical as the AFC South, but they're just, that's kind of how I feel about talking to them. So I'm not going to waste your time and breathe some more air onto them. So, yeah. Just to recap, Cowboys 9-8, Eagles 9-8, Redskins 6-11, Giants the same. And that's all she wrote for this division. You can skip their games. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, have a great day and God bless.